Okay, so a quick announcement before the video starts. Let me just say I like to make an official announcement that I am in fact a Twitch partner right now. So thank you to everyone who's made this possible, the viewers, anyone who's just helped make this channel or shared the channel or supported me. Just thank you so much. It really means a lot. I really can't wait to see how this goes in the future. But yeah, if you don't already follow me on Twitch, highly recommend go check it down below. Always in the description. But otherwise, let's just kick it off with today's episode using a brand new team. Let's kick it off right here. What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. Today we are using a brand new team. We have Zekrom, Reshiram, Tapu Fini, Kartana, Heatran, and Hitmontop. Have no idea how this team is gonna go. I've only played a few games with this team. It did decent. It wasn't the best team, so I'm hoping it can work out. Reshiram is one of those Pokemon that I feel like it's just really hard to find a good role for in VGC 2019. I mean, I think it does have some kind of potential, but the problem for me is its lack of a good move pool. I mean, it gets like good support options like Tailwind, it gets recovery like Roost, but its offensive coverage, Fire, Dragon, a Hidden Power, doesn't really get anything else. Well, Earth Power, I guess, but like, not sure if I really want to use Earth Power. We have Zekrom, which I'm actually a big fan of if you haven't tuned into my streams, twitch.tv/JamesSpeed1, because of the fact that Zekrom has put in a lot of work on my streams, actually. And it's a fun Pokemon that I'm glad to be bringing back. We got Tapu Fini. The original idea of this team was actually a Smeargle with Fusion Flare Tailwind, but I just felt that was like really hard to use and I couldn't utilize it well. And it like lost to every like fast taunt Lele, so I couldn't exactly use it. So bring the Tapu Fini, help support. We got Kartana, we have Heatran, and Hitmontop. Hopefully this team is gonna do decent. I don't think this is one of the best teams I've ever made. I think it's a really hard team to use because, you know, we're using a Reshiram. It's going to be really difficult. Our Xerneas matchup is sort of strange, although I think we can deal with it. And yeah, of course, if you do want to see a QR code of this team, 175 likes is the like goal for this video, as well as the future videos. We use Zekrom and Reshiram, and then I'll make a QR code if we do hit that like goal within 2 weeks. But right now, we are going to use Zekrom and Reshiram and see how it goes. So we'll see. I've had some good games where it's been really good, and then some really rough games where I either just didn't play well or like I just couldn't get out of a certain situation. So let's see how this is gonna go. I love Unova. I love Gen 5. I love the designs. I feel like Zekrom's actually pretty decent in this format, if it wasn't for like Xerneas and Groudon everywhere. And I feel like Reshiram, I feel like it's the underdog where it's so hard to use. Hopefully we can do it though. It looks like we got an all-6 team here with Xerneas, Incineroar, the Lunala, Amoonguss, Ludicolo, and Stakataka. So what does it look like right out the bat? My opponent doesn't like Heatran at all, other than Lunala, like and Ludicolo, I guess. My opponent really doesn't like it. I think my best lead is actually Kartana plus Heatran. It's really good against my opponent's team overall, because I have knockoff for the Lunala, which I really like. So yeah, and I think Reshiram can actually do a lot of work. I just kind of want to bring Hitmontop because I am kind of worried about the Incineroar. But I mean, I think I bring Zekrom in the back. Fini could help with Icy Wind and also prevent me from being spored, but I mean, I'm leading with 2 Pokemon that can't get spored since I do have safety goggles on the Heatran. I think Reshiram's offensive damage output could actually really help in this game because of the fact that Blue Flare does a lot of damage here. Like, knocks out Amoonguss, I would assume Life or Blue Flare does a lot of damage to Ludicolo. Probably does like 80% to stack. We'll find out how this matchup goes since this is gonna be a fun game. So let's see what my opponent leads. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like Lunala. I feel like Lunala does a lot of damage, but I guess he's Xerneas lead. And if Xerneas leads, I'm just gonna go for the Roar right away since I do have that option. Don't let Xerneas ever set up. It's really bad if it does. We're gonna see Amoonguss and Lunala. Okay. Which is actually pretty good for me since 1, I do have a Assault Vest Kartana, which is faster and has knockoff, so I can knock off this Lunala's item. And 2, I have a Safety Goggles Heatran, so my opponent can't actually knock out unless the Lunala has like a Heat Wave, which it could go for. But I mean, I'd probably get 1.5 knockouts right here, and I'd be in a decent spot. So I'm just gonna go for the knockoff and Heat Wave. I really just don't see a drawback to the play, because there's nothing really my opponent can punish me with. Incineroar, I guess, could come in, but like it either loses its item if it switches in a Lunala slot, or Lunala goes down anyway because it's knockoff into Heat Wave at -1 should still knock out Lunala, I would assume, as no Rage Powder, knockoff going to come out. Well, no Rage Powder makes sense. Damage into Lunala, get rid of its choice specs. I'm faster than Lunala. It doesn't have speed. And I don't knock out Lunala, actually. And Lunala does reveal the Heat Wave, which does power up my Flash Fire, so that's not too bad, actually. Alright. As Heat Wave won't knock out my Kartana, no big deal. I'm okay with that. And we know it's choice specs Lunala, so yeah, and Spore into my safety goggles. So yeah, that's not too bad of a turn. I think Reshiram can come in, and I think I could just go for Tailwind and Heat Wave. Double Fire gonna sweep my opponent's entire team, I hope. Yeah, Reshiram can come in. We get to go for Heat Wave. We get to go for Tailwind. I'm not really worried too much right here. Yeah, because my opponent doesn't have a really great switch into Heat Wave. So yeah, especially with the Flash Fire boost my opponent gave me. So even though I lost Kartana, it's not the end of the world, because yes, I still have an answer to Xerneas in my Heatran. My Heatran's still really good against my opponent's team anyway. And Amoonguss can't really do much even if it switches out here, and Heat Wave's just going to KO the Amoonguss when it comes back anyway thanks to that Flash Fire boost. So yeah, my opponent's in a really tough spot here where you're either going to take a lot of damage if you switch out, and I also get Tailwind up, so no matter what, yeah, it's looking pretty bad for my opponent realistically right here. Let's see what my opponent can do to try to maneuver out of this board. I think Incineroar has to come in for one of these slots. I would say it would be the Lunala, but the problem is Lunala's not fast anyway. It looks like it's a Rage Powder, actually, which is a curious decision, but maybe my opponent's just giving up both these Pokemon. I could have seen maybe Protect Amoonguss, but then again, even if Amoonguss Protect, it wasn't really going to help my opponent too much. So Heat Wave going to come out here. Amoonguss avoids. Luckily, it didn't Spore the Reshiram. That was actually my worst fear, was the Amoonguss dodging and going for Spore, but luckily since my opponent went for the Rage Powder, like, it worked out. That is kind of annoying though, since Xerneas probably gets to come out here. But then again, I could just Fusion Flare to Amoonguss and go for the Roar into Xerneas. Even if it goes for Moonblast, at least the Xerneas is not set up. So I think that works out for me. As Ludicolo is actually going to take the field. Alright. I don't think Hydro Pump knocks out Heatran at neutral. And I'll go for the Blue Flare into the Ludicolo and Heat Wave. Yeah, even if you fake out, I mean, I'm going to get a bunch of damage off. I guess you could fake out, but I don't know. As we're going to see another Rage Powder, but here it makes sense, because you know my Reshiram is faster. So Blue Flare going to come out, and yeah, a lot of damage. Going to knock out the Amoonguss. And then I get a huge Heat Wave off into the Ludicolo. And even if we knock out Heatran, let's say, I get a free switch into Zekrom, and I get to go for the Fusion Bolt, Fusion Flare combination, which I really hope I can get off, because that would be amazing here. Hydro Pump. Heatran avoids. Again, I didn't really care if it hit. It was either not going to KO or I got the free switch in the Zekrom. Both were good for me regardless. So, works out. Xerneas going to come out. I think I just click Heat Wave and Blue Flare once again. I really don't see a reason not to. Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of sucks, because then again, my opponent could have went for like double protects with Xerneas. Maybe that was my opponent's out, because if Hydro Pump and I can't roar you out. Whoa. Oh, that's a crit. Unfortunate, but I feel like these don't really matter. Like, yes, I'm getting the luck, but I feel like I was in such good positions that I really didn't need them anyway. Because, like, a Blue Flare Life Orb boosted plus a Flash Fire boosted Heat Wave, I think would have knocked out these Xerneas no matter what. As long as I hit. Then if I miss, then it's bad luck on my side, so it's not fair anyway. But I feel like these were just unnecessary expenditures, as we are able to pick up a win. I feel like no Incineroar was, like, the downfall to my opponent. I'm really surprised Incineroar wasn't brought out in this matchup, because Intimidate, Fake Out Pressure, my opponent really just didn't have much to deal with it. I guess maybe just learn the team, but I felt like Incineroar's Fake Out could be really useful in that game. Ludicolo, Xerneas does make sense. Lunala makes sense. I feel like Amoonguss didn't do much though. Like, I had a Kartana, I had a Heatran, I had a Reshiram, I had a Tapu Fini with Misty Surge to prevent you from being spoiled. I just don't see what Amoonguss really did in that matchup. I would like to know what my opponent's mindset was. Maybe it was just to redirect like a Fusion Flare, a Fusion Bolt combination, since it looked like the Lunala was slow for some reason, which is interesting since Choice Specs Lunala tends to run max speed actually in order to outspeed slow Xerneas and some other stuff, but I can't really remember it off the top of my head. Others Lunalas, I guess. But yeah, looks like we'll be right back for the second game of today's episode, since I'm gonna have to restart my 3DS because every time I do gets the error, it just blacks out my 3DS. So we'll be right back with the second game of today's episode. Alright, we're back after reconnecting, restarting my 3DS. So basically, I feel like if they want to, I feel like Reshiram and Zekrom, if they got a buff to base 100 speed, they would be a lot better, because speed time with Kyogre and Groudon are not fun. If it was able to outspeed Xerneas, then Reshiram could get a huge attack off before. I think it would be really fire if they both got base 100. I feel like they would actually be like pretty good actually if they were base 100 speed. I feel like base 90 speed just screwed them over so much. It really screwed them. Even 95 would have been better, because at least you outspeed Kyogre guaranteed. Speaking of Kyogre, we got a Kyogre Groudon dual weather with Naganadel, Tapu Koko, Kartana, and Incineroar. So Naganadel is actually a really scary Pokemon to deal with. I really like Reshiram in this matchup. Okay. So Kartana isn't that bad, but the problem is, okay, so there's a lot of Pokemon my opponent can bring here. I think you bring Naganadel for certain. Groudon for certain. Not sure about Kyogre. Kyogre's a bit iffy, because I don't realistically think you need Kyogre at this matchup at all. I think I would bring, if I was my opponent, Naganadel, Groudon, Kartana for its output, and Incineroar. But I could see a Koko too. I think I'm going to lead Reshiram plus Hitmontop with Zekrom and I think Feeny in the back, because Kartana's okay against my opponent's team, but I don't feel like it's the best against my opponent's team, because if I want to knock out the Groudon, it's through Blue Flare in the Sun, which I might not guarantee. You might bring Kyogre just to limit my Reshiram's damage output against the Groudon. I could see, yeah, I could see that. So I like having the Soak idea with my Feeny, because I think it's pretty good. We're going to see Naganadel Kartana lead, which is no surprise. I'll be able to fake out the Naganadel and just go for Tailwind right away, which is actually a pretty solid option that I do have here. Yeah, and then next turn, if we don't target down my Hitmontop, I can go for Helping... Wait, do I have Helping Hand anymore? Fake out Wide Guard. I think I do have Helping Hand on this team. I don't know, I kept changing the Hitmontop set, so I can't remember what I finally decided with. I did have Helping Hand, okay. Second Helping Hand next turn, okay. I'll go for the fake out into the Naganadel and a Tailwind right here. I guess Kartana could have Tailwind, but I think Naganadel would most likely carry Tailwind on this team. Incineroar are going to come out here, so no surprise there. As Intimidate will fire off, we will get a fake out Tailwind, but next turn my opponent can go for Tailwind, I guess, as Naganadel just protects, so I can't even break up potential Focus Sash or anything. So that's a little bit unfortunate, as fake out into the Protect and a Tailwind. So it's not the worst spot, but it's not exactly the best spot either. I feel like you have to fake out the Reshiram. You don't know what its moveset is. You could see like maybe a Dragon type move in a Naganadel. So I think I'm just going to bring up my Feeny and get damage, I guess, into the Incineroar. I might as well just go for damage into the Incineroar slot, because getting 50% means that it can't come in on a Bolt Strike anymore. Or a Blue Flare, potentially. Blue Flare might be able to pick up the knockout if I get 60% on Incineroar, but I'm assuming close combat is like 40 to 50. We're going to see the fake out come out into the Reshiram. No surprise there. Close combat. As, yep, about 50%. No surprise. I guess what the question is, what does Naganadel do in the future turn? I should live a Sludge Bomb unless it's like a Life Orb Naganadel, which I guess is concerning, but I would assume it's Focus Sash, if anything. I'm going to Icy Wind here. And yeah, he can only bring one, and it has to be Groudon in the back, I would imagine. So I think I'm actually just going to go for the close combat into the Incineroar, because I don't mind if Hitmontop gets procced out with the eject button, because I don't want like Zekrom or Reshiram to take too much damage right here. So I'll go for Icy Wind, I'll go for close combat. As Incineroar is going to retreat here, no surprise, into the Groudon. So I'll be catching it with an Icy Wind and a close combat, so that's not too bad of an option. I would have loved to double out here, though, I think, in a Reshiram. Sludge Bomb going to come out in Feeny. Yep. Doesn't KO. And I will break the Naganadel's potential Focus Sash, which is really good. So Icy Wind gonna come out, slow down my opponent's side of the field. Nice. Next turn, I think I could just go out into Reshiram and probably just Wide Guard. With the sun up, I think Fusion Flare just knocks out a lot of stuff that my opponent has. I wish I had Feint though. Like Feint would be a cool option here. We'll go Reshiram here. Or is it worth? Because I could just Icy Wind again. How worth is keeping Feeny? Because Feeny doesn't really help that much. Other than chipping away at my opponent's team. But I'm not faster than Naganadel with Feeny, so I'm just going to give it a speed boost, which would be speed. Yeah, so it's actually better to go Reshiram. And we'll Wide Guard here. We will Wide Guard here. So we'll bring out Reshiram. We'll go for Wide Guard here to prevent Precipice Blades from coming out. If it's Stomping Tantrum, that's like super rare. So we're going to see actually Groudon retreat here into the Incineroar. So good play on my opponent's side. No doubt about it. As that's trickier. I mean, I got damage on Groudon, which is nice. We will Wide Guard. And let's see what my opponent does. Probably Sludge Bomb into Feeny, I would imagine. Yep, Sludge Bomb. Hopefully Reshiram can take 2. Yeah, easily actually takes 2. Nice. I think I'll just retreat here. I think I go Zekrom here. Let's find out if this Naganadel does carry a Dragon move, since if it's Tailwind and Protect and Sludge Bomb, it might actually not carry the Dragon type move. It could carry a Fire type move because Kartana is a little bit of a threat to my opponent's side. We'll bring out the Zekrom here because I don't know what my opponent's going to do. Fake Out, probably. And I do want, probably Flare Blitz, I would imagine, if anything. I don't think you Fake Out here, unless you're faking out Reshiram. You Fake Out Reshiram, so probably Sludge Bomb. Yeah, Sludge Bomb coming out into him on top slot, so could have saved health. No big deal though, because I think Bolt Strike might actually knock out Naganadel at that range. I do have the option to Tailwind again and go for the Bolt Strike. I'm pretty sure Bolt Strike should knock out Naganadel because I do have the Magnet. You can't intimidate me. Yeah, so as long as I hit, I think Bolt Strike should knock out Naganadel right here. Because Naganadel isn't exactly the bulkiest Pokemon on the physical side. And Incineroar can't knock me out here. So, yeah, we will go for Tailwind. And I'm pretty sure if anything, you're just going to go for a Tailwind of your own. We will go for the Bolt Strike. We do connect here. So, max attack Bolt Strike with Magnet obliterates the Naganadel. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted here. You can't knock me out with your Incineroar here. Ooh, Fusion Flare and a Fusion Bolt. This might actually be the time. Knockoff going to come out into the Reshiram. I live that easily. Yeah. Getting rid of my life orb. Oh, but I feel like if I just... Oh, man. Let's see. How healthy was the Groudon again? I think it was pretty healthy, so I think I go for Blue Flare if anything. I mean, I might knock it out. Is it worth the risk, though? No. It's always better to Fusion Flare... No, Blue Flare the Groudon. I don't risk it because I don't know what kind of ground set it is. It could be specially defensive, which is why I don't want to risk anything. And I go for, I can afford to Fusion Bolt the Incineroar since Fusion Bolt will knock out since we're not intimidated with Zekrom. So Ground going to Protect. That might be better for me. That might be better for me. As Blue Flare into the Protect, we'll go for the Fusion Bolt. We knock out Incineroar, no surprise there. I kind of just want to go for the Fusion Flare Fusion Bolt combination. Sun fades, so my opponent was stalling out the sun, so my Reshiram couldn't do as much damage. Smart. As we're going to see Kartana come out. This game's going to come down to me hitting Blue Flare, I think, and I will go for Blue Flare and a Fusion Bolt just to break a potential Sash on the Kartana if the Kartana was Sash. I don't know if Kartana or the, what's it called, Naganadel was Sash. I'm assuming one of them was Focus Sash. I could see a Assault Vest Kartana plus what's it called, Assault Vest Kartana plus Focus Sash. Oh, wow, Blue Flare knocks out the Groudon. Nice. I love that animation, by the way. Like, Zekrom and Reshiram got really cool animations. Fusion Bolt going to come out into the Kartana. As Kartana probably just going to try and knock out my Reshiram. Wow, that actually does some really good damage. Sacred Sword. Oh, it's in the Zekrom too. Oh man, we'll go for Fusion Flare right here. I forgot, did Fusion Flare and Fusion Bolt have to be on the same turn to get power, or I feel like they do have to be on the same turn. We'll just go to him on top and Fusion Flare. Because even if your Kartana reveals Protect, I just fake off Tailwind the following turn, and then yeah, my opponent's obviously screwed from there. So we are able to take a win there. I think like overall, like the position against Naganadel was the important part, because I felt like dealing Naganadel was a super big threat, but it looked like it didn't have a Dragon type move based on what my opponent was doing. So no surprise there, since Dragon coverage is actually really rare in the format. Like only very few Pokemon run it. Like Dialga might run Dragon Pulse, but actually a lot of, or Spatial run on Palkia, but some tend to forego it because like Feeny is actually decently common in this format, so your Dragon type moves aren't doing too much damage. And yeah, it's not really as helpful because like Xerneas, for instance, is a pretty common Pokemon in the format. So yeah, not many people actually decide to run Dragon coverage. They tend to run other coverage for, you know, more common Pokemon. Maybe it was a fire move on the Naganadel. Not exactly sure though, because I mean, you had Incineroar, you had the Groudon, but then again, you might have just wanted the fire coverage just because like you want to outspeed Kartana, because Kartana would just get a really powerful hit off right off the bat. So maybe that's why my opponent maybe had like a fire type move, for instance. If it was fire type move, that's just pure speculation, by the way. So we got 1554 rated player from Japan as our last opponent. Giratina. Oh no, how did I beat Giratina? I have Soak. Yeah, I have Soak. Okay. Luckily, whenever there's a Pokemon I can't touch, I always have a backup option, and that backup option is Soak with Feeny. Okay. This is really tough though, because well, if it's physical Giratina, I can't one-shot my Zekrom or my Reshiram. So that's good. What's a really good lead is actually my Reshiram. Reshiram pretty much gets Tailwind up. Reshiram plus Hitmontop doesn't sound bad at all. Do I like Kartana? Kartana's decent, but I think I go Reshiram, Hitmontop, Tapu Fini, and Zekrom. Heatran doesn't really... Heatran's like alright in this matchup, but it just really depends on what my opponent's sets are, and I don't really want to risk it. I only really bring Heatran for the Xerneas matchups, and I feel like Kartana, you know, it could do work here, but I feel like it's not necessary because yes, it can hit hard. I'm a little bit worried about the Giratina and the Incineroar though. So I'd rather have Fake Out Pressure and Intimidate just to slow them down. So Hitmontop, Reshiram, Zekrom, plus Feeny. By the way, the reason I have Eject button is on the Hitmontop plus Reshiram lead, I could Tailwind, Fake Out, and they ever activate my Eject button, I just get a free switch into my Zekrom, and then I can do the Fusion Flare, Fusion Bolt thing, which is the main reason why I kind of like Hitmontop. Also, the fact that if I have Incineroar as my Intimidate Mon, we have 3 ground weaknesses, and that's not fun against a Groudon. So, Incineroar Tapu Fini actually taking the field. Alright. That is not a bad lead for me. As we lead Reshiram plus Hitmontop. I actually might want to go hard into my Zekrom here. Man, that's sad. Zekrom plus Reshiram could have done a ton of work in this as a lead. We're gonna try to Intimidate, yeah. I think I just go hard with Reshiram here and switch out I Fake Out the Tapu Fini, switch out in Reshiram. We might try to exchange Fake Outs, he might go for the knockoff. I don't think I need my Magnet too much in this game, but we'll find out. We'll just go for the Fake Out here. And I don't know if you're going to go on a Giratina. Giratina is not covered by Misty Surge because of the fact that it is a levitating Pokemon. So, you know, if I do have like Draco Meteor, my opponent would be afraid of that. So, we'll bring out Zekrom here. Let's see what my opponent does. Fake Out going to go out into Tapu Fini, prevent it from like Icy Wind or anything else. Fake Out into the Hitmontop. Oh! That might be better for me because I get my Eject button immediately. And hello situation! We get Reshiram next to Zekrom. I think I just Bolt Strike the Incineroar and I Tailwind here because you're definitely switching out Feeny or Protecting here, I feel like. Unless you're Specs, but then you would just get knocked out, so I don't think that's worth staying in. And I could knock out the Incineroar potentially because I think Fusion... I think Bolt Strike with the Magnet boost does knock out at neutral, because I mean -1 still does like 60 to 70. So we'll go for Tailwind here, and we'll go for the Bolt Strike, and Moonblast wouldn't KO Zekrom anyway. Like, Zekrom is super bulky. We're gonna see the Feeny retreat here into the Giratina, so no surprise that Giratina is making an appearance here. And let's see, we do get Tailwind up. Incineroar does stay in, so let's see, Bolt Strike. Can we get a hit and knockout? Also, like, using these moves are scared because it's 85 and it's only 1 power. So, Bolt Strike almost knocks out the Incineroar. It looks like it's a Assault Vest though. Is knockoff going to go out in Zekrom? Alright. Gets a crit, which is annoying. Not the worst case though. I can go for the Roost here, because I think Giratina might reveal the Tailwind, and we'll Fusion Flare the Incineroar just to knock it out. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. Crit would have probably just allowed me to go for a Fusion Bolt plus a switch into Hitmontop, but I guess that's fine. Especially since Giratina reveals Protect. Huh. I wonder if it's a Protect Tailwind set. Like, I really don't know what Giratina really runs. Like, Shadow Force is probably the more common one. Of course, I did use the Calm Mindset, but I feel like that was a specific one. That was very specific. We got the best turn possible. We got the knockout Incineroar. We're able to get a Roost stuff with Zekrom. We need to preserve Zekrom because it's my only mon that can abuse the Soak factor. So I can actually knock out the Giratina. Otherwise, I'd probably have to soak the Giratina and go for like a Hitmontop sweep. Is Feeny gonna come out here? I feel like if it's switched out, you might be actually Specs. So I'm gonna Bolt Strike. And I think I'm gonna go out on my own Hitmontop because I could definitely see this being like a Shadow Force here. And having Fake Out Pressure is nice here. Having Fake Out Pressure, the ability, if it does Shadow Force to Giratina, I could always just switch out Hitmontop into my Feeny so I can set up the Soak plus Bolt Strike combination. So yeah, Bolt Strike, gonna come out. Will hit the Feeny. So we're getting lucky hitting these Bolt Strikes, so should be able to knock out Feeny even without our Magnet. Yep. Nice, so we do get rid of Feeny. What was my opponent's other restricted mod? Solgaleo, right? Yeah, Solgaleo. Shadow Force is gonna come out perfect. So Solgaleo probably coming out afterward. Gotta find out the good spot. Solgaleo gonna come out. And I could fake out Bolt Strike. Is that worth? I'm trying to think. I need Feeny decently healthy. I feel like you're targeting on Hitmontop anyway. Bolt Strike is not going to really put the Solgaleo into a range I really needed to, I feel like. But I might as well just attempt it, because Reshiram would knock out Solgaleo with Blue Flare anyway, so I might as well just go for it. Match is actually going to be forfeited. I feel like my opponent did have a shot. Well, I guess it depends on the Solgaleo set. But we are able to take a win. Really, I feel like overall, like I was just able to make some... I guess I kind of played aggressive there, but I felt like in worst case scenario, Feeny with Specs knocks out my Zekrom, but then that would probably lose the game. Maybe what I should have done was Fusion Bolt. But I mean, I felt like Feeny had to switch out there because like if Feeny was Specs, you couldn't risk me knocking you out because you really didn't have much for my Giratina, especially since I could keep in, well, not for my Zekrom, because of the fact I could just keep intimidating your Giratina, so you can't really do much. And yeah, so don't know, but we were able to pull through. We were able to knock out the Incineroar. Like that huge turn was just me able to get a free Roost and KO the Incineroar, which was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, overall the game went pretty smoothly. But otherwise, pretty strong showcasing, but I think it'll get tougher once we find some higher rated opponents. Hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Back to Battles though. If you did like it, please leave a like down below, show some support. I really hope we do get a Fusion Flare into Fusion Bolt combination. It's really hard to get it off. I've only gotten it off like 2 times out of the, what is it, like the 10 games I played on Showdown with this team. So yeah, it's gonna be difficult to get it off, so we'll see how it goes, but hopefully we can get it off. If you do want to try out the team, there is a placement of this team down below as always. I'm really hoping that this team can impress me, but I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna go. We'll just wait and see, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my Twitch channel, my Patreon page if you do want to support the channel. Feel free to leave a comment down below as I do read them. The playlist down below if you missed any previous episodes of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. My social medias like my Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.